Welcome back, everybody. Just want to remind everyone, this is our special road trip edition of the Hour of Power radio show. We hope that you are at home drinking as we are sitting in the car and unable to drink. And if you would like to hear our thoughts on that, go back and listen to our our earlier parts of this episode. And we discussed that
3 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly. And so right now we're driving. We're in the middle of Oregon. I don't think we've reached La Grande yet. Or have we passed that one?
No, we have not.
We have not? Wow.
We will tell you where we're at here in about 3 seconds. We're coming up on a rest area, 5 miles. We're 12 miles out of La Grande and 271 miles away from Portland. So we are making a decent time, all things considered. And so, yeah, we just decided we would do a live, random thoughts of our brain broadcast. We don't have a lot of info to go on.
We don't. Normally we have the internet where we can kind of come up with information to talk about, but basically all this is going to be whatever we can come up with as we're sitting here talking, which basically we're going to be doing that anyways, and we just figured, hey, maybe someone else would like to listen to this as well.
That's right. It's a streaming consciousness hour of power.
Exactly.
So
one of the things, as we're traveling through the road, one of the things we get to look at and do that we normally don't get to do when we do the radio show before, we get to look at some of the cars that pass us by. One of the things I have to mention is those little stickers on the back of the cars where it's like the whole family.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like the 2 bigger ones and how many kids you have and like the pets that you have and all that kind of stuff. I don't like those at all. I don't know your feeling on that, but it's like I don't want everyone to know that I'm driving by exactly how many kids I have and pets I have at home. I mean, that's just really not cool. I don't like that.
Cares.
But what was funny, Daniel talked.
Yes, I was just thinking the same thing.
Okay,
Drink for
go ahead.
thinking the same thing.
All right, that's 3 we're up to now.
Yeah, and there was a viewer video of the week, and what it was is it was an accident scene, and a woman stood there crying. She's like, "Tell me everything's okay," and the cop goes over to the window sticker and pulls off one of the kids' stickers. It was awesome. And the lady just busted up in tears. Oh no! So yes, that was very funny, and I think that's the best way to portray those family stickers.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that they're so unnecessary, and it's just so dumb. And like, I think my brother has those on his car with like the 3 of them. No, Michael. Yeah.
Does he have it on his car, or does Lindsay have it on hers?
I think it's on Lindsay's car.
Oh, okay, I can see that.
And it has the little Mickey Mouse hats on them as well, so it makes it even better.
Oh, awesome.
I probably shouldn't be going as fast. I'm going down this hill.
Yeah,
it's okay, I'm going down a hill, so it's not as bad.
Alright, so
I didn't choose how fast I was going, it was kind of the hill chose for me.
That is right. Alright, so there's not a whole lot of other stuff to talk about. We've got the MLB trade deadline is approaching in 2 days from today, or as of this broadcast. And the big trade obviously is Carlos Beltran going over to the Giants. We announced that on Wednesday night. This is of course Friday afternoon at 3:38.
Yeah,
and,
Mountain Time.
Yeah, Mountain Time.
Even though technically we are now in Pacific Time.
That's right. So 2:38 for all your West Coasters.
There's not a whole lot that I think is awesome about the Boise area. One of the things I think is really awesome is where it is in the time difference. Because if you look at where the time separation is, it's like it kind of goes out. The Mountain Time goes around Boise, so it's like it stays light there very late at night because it's practically in Pacific Time.
It's absolutely right, and I completely agree with you. I've thought that many times that we get a little extra daylight at night, which for those of us that work during the day and we enjoy sunlight when we come home, we don't like to come home when it's dark outside, which is really depressing during the winter.
It very much is. You leave when it's dark, you get home when it's dark. I mean, that's just not cool at all.
You spend all your daylight inside. It sucks. So to get that extra daylight when you come home is awesome, and I really appreciate it. It's nice. It helps you get things done. Maybe mow the yard if you want to, or drink while it's light outside, make you feel better about yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think around, because like the longest day of the year is June 21st. Around the end of June, I mean, seriously, there's times that it's light till about 10:30 at night. I think that's just amazing how it's like that. I definitely don't think it's going to be like that in Portland.
I don't think so either.
Especially because I think it's going to rain most of the time. So.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
But hey, that's all right. My apartment's going to have a fireplace in it. So, I mean, honestly, drinking next to a fireplace, I'd be totally fine with that.
Scotch. I love Scotch.
Totally.
All right, awesome. So, anyways, hasn't been any other big deals that have gone through yet. The big deals that are kind of waiting to happen, a lot of people expect Hunter Pence of the Astros center fielder, to get moved. The big bidders right now on him are the Phillies, the Braves, and possibly another AL team.
But you were saying that the Braves needed a center fielder.
Absolutely. The Braves could really use a center fielder. Right now they have Nate McLeod, who's batting roughly .230. Not good at all. His defense is okay. He does provide a nice spark in the clubhouse, but Hunter Pence also provides that same spark, and he bats about 40 points higher at least, and he has more power. So that would be a big upgrade for him, and he's also a quality defender as well. So
I think I brought this up on the show before. This is kind of also another good side tangent to go to, is that I always think it's weird because everyone does it. They say, oh, they are very weak at, let's say, cornerback position, or they're very weak at center fielder. How do you think the center fielder feels when he hears that? It's like, dude, you're saying that I'm that weak? Come on, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying my hardest out there. I'm not doing terrible. I mean, I'm not hurting the team that much. It's not like I'm striking out every time I get up there. I get hits occasionally. How do you think that guy feels? I mean, I just always think that's kind of weird when we say that. We're always going to say that. It's never going to change. I just always thought that was kind of weird.
You know what? If I made as much money as they did, I could care less what people say about me.
That's definitely true. If I was bringing in six to 7 figures to stand there in the outfield, I probably wouldn't cry myself.
Because honestly, you could buy headphones to tune that shit out. I promise.
Exactly.
So that, I don't really feel bad about saying, well, he's a below average center fielder. His batting average isn't great. He has provided some good home runs on the year, and I do thank him for that. He's had a couple go-ahead or game-tying home runs late in games, which have been really big for Braves wins. And when you're chasing the Phillies, you need as many wins as you can get. So I do appreciate him for that. But this is a guy that we did trade for. He didn't, and he really hasn't returned a whole lot on the trade. I mean, last year we sent him down to the minors for a couple weeks to work on his batting because he was batting like 170 something last year, and we sent him down. So,
do you think that the Braves, because the Phillies look like they're in pretty good position to win that division, do you think the Braves will be able to take the wild card, or will it be the second place team in that central division between the Pirates, the Braves, or Pirates, the Brewers, and
Cardinals or Reds?
Yeah.
I think the Braves will take it. Right now, I believe they have at least a 5-game lead on the wild card. So, they're the second best team, or actually third best team right now. The Giants passed them yesterday by a half game, but the third best team in the NL and the fifth best team in baseball record-wise. So I do think that they'll hold on for the wild card spot, and that means that they'll probably end up playing, since they can't play Philadelphia in the opening round, they'll probably end up playing the Giants in the opening round again, which kind of sucks. But,
and I totally believe that. I think what's going to happen with that, because all those teams that we just mentioned, they're all very good in that central part of the National League. They're all very good, but I think they're beating up on each other too much. So it's like, they're all like one game apart right now, and I mean and so it's all very close. And I think they're just beating up on each other too much to even have one of those people come out as the wild card.
I agree, and I think that's what's going to end up happening. It's kind of like, the NFC East. If the team doesn't make, or AFC East, or even NFC East. If a team doesn't make the wild card from there, or two teams don't, because football has 2 wild cards, and a couple times they've come from the same division. But if the division is really tough and they beat up on each other, it's hard for 2 or 3 teams to get into the playoffs in that division, just because they're playing stiffer competition throughout the year.
That's true. An example of that, let's go back to hockey for a second. This last year in the playoffs, the Pacific Division, which is where my Sharks is.
Sharks are.
The Sharks are. Thank you. The Dallas Stars were 1 game out of making the playoffs. If the Dallas Stars would have made the playoffs, every team from that division would have made it in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's just crazy. And also a little road trip update. We're passing through LeGrand right now, which is the home of Eastern Oregon University. And I have to say that when I was looking for a college, I applied here. I came to visit here with my dad. It's a great campus. It's a nice little area. I mean, it's now looking at it, it would have been too small for me. But I do definitely have to give them a nice big finger, a nice little 1-finger salute as we go by, because they technically didn't accept me.
Well,
and I was, I was going out of school with a lot of a couple of AP classes, and a lot of honors classes. Left high school with a 3.83 grade point average, a lot of extracurricular activity. Thought I was a pretty good candidate to go there, and they totally screwed me over. So this is a nice big finger as we drive through LeGrand to
Hold on, I got something for you.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
It probably didn't make the microphone.
It probably didn't, but that was a nice big fart, yes.
No need to guess what it is anymore.
Oh no. Well, and if there was smell-o-vision right now on this camera, they could definitely tell.
That's right. If we had a smell-o-meter or anything, just
yeah.
Toxic.
And this is also where you go to get to Wallowa Lake, which I went there up to for a vacation, go camping up there. Really cool spot to go.
Nice.
It was a nice little area. I wouldn't mind going back there sometime.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. All right, Matthew, we've got about 10 minutes left on this hour version of the Hour of Power. So, what would you
really?
like? Yeah.
Wow, it's been that far already?
It's pretty close because we had 37 minutes on our first segment, and we've been 12 minutes in this last, or 13 minutes in this last segment. So, anything else that you'd like to discuss?
Let's see here. Sports-wise, no.
Any movies that you want to see? Friends with Benefits is now out. Do you want to see that?
I do want to see that, and I also would like to also see the same movie that came out earlier with Natalie Portman.
No Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached. I'd like to see both of those because
they have to Netflix.
Yeah, that's true. Because I don't think that one lasted very long, but I think they're really promoting the hell out of this Friends with Benefits one.
They really are, and honestly, it does look funnier to me than the Natalie Portman one.
Yeah, I don't even remember the guy in that one was. Do you remember?
Kutcher.
Oh yeah. That's true. Neither one of those. I think they're both very good. Neither one of them, I think, are movie carrying actors.
No.
That's another one. There's a new movie coming out with Paul Rudd in it, and I don't exactly remember.
My Idiot Brother.
Yeah, it's My Idiot Brother. I think he's another one of those actors that can't carry a movie on his own. He's incredibly funny. He's great with an ensemble.
Or great with like another co-star, like with him and Sean William Scott in Role Models were hilarious.
Exactly.
They fed off each other, but if he needs somebody to feed off of. He's kind of I don't mean to say this rudely, but he's kind of like a parasite that has a symbiotic relationship with his hosts.
But like two parasites together, they could do okay together.
Right.
But like he was in that movie with Jason Segel, and I don't remember which.
I Love You Man.
I Love You Man. And I thought he did a very good job in that one, but neither one of those two actors were kind of forced to carry it. Another one, which I think we have talked about, I think Steve Carell is great as like part of a team or something, but I think on some of those movies he had to carry by himself. I didn't think they were as great of movies.
Right. They're not like, I'm thinking of comedy actors that can carry movies. Will Ferrell, at least in his prime, he could carry a movie.
Yeah, and I think he's getting to that stage too, but if there was like a Will Ferrell, Steve Carell movie, I think they could do
it.
Exactly. But I think they did a great job on that one.
They did, and that also had Paul Rudd in it. Go to figure.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that come out of these Judd Apatow movies are really, they really need a good ensemble cast to feed off of, or like be on equal footing with. Role Models obviously was one. I Love You Man. Movies like that, they do need somebody that, it's like me and Matt. Me and Matt probably couldn't do the show by ourselves. It wouldn't be that good, but we have a lot of fun feeding off of each other and cuddling, really.
This is true. Because what works well for our team is that, we know when one wants to be the big spoon and one wants to be the little spoon.
That's true. And we know when we need the cream filling in our Oreo.
Exactly. And like we brought in a few some guest hosts on occasion, and while I've listened to those shows and they were good, they weren't as good as when we are really on top of our game.
Yeah.
Another two of us.
Another good example while we're talking about radio and such is Mike and Mike in the morning.
Yes.
They are very good. They feed off each other exceptionally well. I mean, they have great banter, but neither one of them, I don't think, could really have a show by themselves just because they lose so much of their personality because they don't have somebody else to talk to.
And I've heard them do that a couple of times. I remember this one episode or this one show that they did where like Mike Golick had to leave halfway through because there was like a